romantic.
Yeah,
it is. Oh, let's hear the next verse. Let's hear it.
The best is the people on the radio who can't see Erik lip syncing along to this right now.
You stepped on the toilet parts line. All right, that's enough. Check that out. We're back. It's Erik Nagel. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. Thank you to Carla Gugino for coming on. Check out Wayward Pines on Fox. And, of course, San Andreas is coming up later in the summer.
Indeed.
It looks pretty cool.
Is that the earthquake one?
Yes.
Okay.
The one where you see the big cruise ship flipping over into the Golden State Bridge or whatever it's called.
Golden Gate. I've only seen the poster.
It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Arsenal from Arrow. Colton Haynes is in it from Arrow as well. Yeah.
A lot going on with the CW stuff.
Yeah.
Since you're bringing up Arrow.
Yes.
This past season, of course, crossovers with The Flash.
Right.
And now the Green Arrow people are trying to save Constantine by maybe, if they can, incorporating Constantine into the CW universe.
Yeah, so NBC did not renew, but Warner Brothers reserves the right to shop it around. And so naturally everybody was like, CW, take it. Stephen Amell was like, we'll take it. We would love to have it, right? And then Matt Ryan, who plays Constantine, was very interested in going there as well. Although CW just had their upfront press event yesterday or the day before, and it was not picked up at that. Although I think it probably is a little too soon to make that announcement.
Right.
There's still time for it to be like a mid-season kind of pickup or something like that. Or they could just take the character and put him on one of the existing shows that they have. They have 3 shows now. They have Flash and Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow is starting in the fall.
The trailer just came out.
Correct.
If you haven't seen that trailer, check it out. It's just another ensemble of characters that, if you're not familiar with the DC universe, you're just thinking, where did these group of people come out?
Well, almost all of those characters have been introduced already between Flash and Arrow. Canary is now White Canary. Captain Cold.
Wasn't she Black
and
Canary?
She was. Well, there's Canary, Black Canary, and now there's White Canary. It's 3 different characters, 2 different actresses.
Let's just pick a different bird. Jesus.
Yes.
And then Captain Cold and Heatwave is there. They've already been on Flash. Firestorm has been on Flash and Arrow. I'm trying to think who
would Constantine be able to cross over into that world? Like
Absolutely.
if he just showed up one day, he's like, "Hey guys, I'm here."
Absolutely.
It would totally work. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know the universe that well.
You know why? Because Arrow kind of focuses on the reality aspects of that universe, and Flash kind of focuses on the superhuman, superhero aspect of the universe. If they brought Constantine in, they could kind of do the supernatural, the metaphysical, occult portion of that universe, and it would really open the door to some great crossovers, I think, personally. A lot of people agree, so it would be a good spot if it got picked up over there.
Well, they crossed over a hell of a lot with Arrow and Flash this season. There was 3 team-ups. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and the season finale of Flash is actually next week, but the second to last episode last week was great. I mean, everybody was in it, and Arrow's finale was great this week. Flash was in that as well. So yeah, they're definitely building that universe quite nicely.
Would you think the CW has been watching how Marvel is building their cinematic universe and trying to possibly capitalize off it?
It's not the CW; it's more of DC's part. I think DC is starting to get smarter with their television properties. Okay. They're still way behind and have a lot to fix with their movie stuff.
Right, so DC and the CW are trying to follow Marvel's methodology. Warner Brothers is saying, fuck Marvel, because it's working, and we don't want to work.
Yeah.
And so Warner Brothers
is exactly
failing.
What they said.
Yeah, right?
They're all shaking their fists angrily, like, we do not want to work.
Yeah, boo! Boo to billion-dollar movies.
Somebody break this.
Boo earns.
Boo earns. So, not with Harry Shearer. So,
too soon.
So yeah, so I don't know. CW is definitely the home for good comic book TV shows though right now.
I have a lot to catch up with Flash. I have not watched any of Green Arrow, but I think I might pick that up this summer to watch.
All right.
I do love Constantine.
It's a great show.
I know people didn't like the movie. I liked the movie because it was the only other thing of Constantine I got to see.
Yep.
So I did enjoy it. I loved the show, and I would like to see it come back in some form. And I'm not that big a fan of the DC properties, but this one I think is a smart move if they can do it.
And not tied into that universe, but on the CW, iZombie was also renewed for a second season,
which is great. Have you guys watched that?
I love it. I'm up to date on it.
We had Rose MacGyver on the show. It's a great show.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really thought that when that show started that it was going to fall into the trap of becoming just another procedural, and it hasn't. It's somehow managed to stay really interesting and fun. I think because of the nature of Rose MacGyver's character, where she's actually a little bit of a different character every episode, it's allowed it to stay fresh, and it's been a good ride so far. So
I've been noticing little projects here and there that you can tell who Joss Whedon has influenced, because iZombie does have at times feel very Buffy-esque.
Except that it's funny you should say that, because iZombie's done by Rob Thomas, who did was it Alias was his show, I think. So
Matchbox 20 or something.
Another Rob Thomas, but he's another writer who's good at ensemble writing. He's another writer who's very good at strong female leads. I'm not saying he wasn't influenced by Joss Whedon, but he's another writer I would.
But you get those feels.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And I'm not saying feels as in the trendy. So many feels. I'm just
internet
saying
term. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yes. We have an announcement which we're going to do in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
But, I want to go to this caller here. Sean, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Sean. I asked Sean to call in. Sean does a podcast that I've become fans of called Nerd Church. And sort of like what we do and a lot of other people do. It's an ensemble. They talk about movies and games and nerdier things, kind of like that. But their range skews a little bit, because they have like one really old guy on their show and a couple of younger guys. And they just did an interview with Patton Oswalt. And the reason why I wanted him to call in is because I listened to this interview and I found it fascinating, because they're from this area in Northern Virginia that Patton is from. So they were just breaking down history of their old neighborhood. Like nobody in the world knows nor would care about this except these guys and Patton Oswalt. And it was riveting. Hearing them talk about buildings that used to be there, old comic book shops that Patton used to get kicked out of, nightclubs, things like that. It was a great interview. They talked a lot about his role in Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., how he freaked out when he heard his character mentioned in Avengers 2. He's like, because nobody told him. He's like, what the fuck, am I in this movie? But awesome. It was a great interview. You should check it out. Sean, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you very much.
Am I describing your show correctly?
As accurately as I could have hoped, yeah.
Okay.
I also have Miles on the phone here. He's a fellow clergyman there at the church.
No, we don't need to talk to him.
Yeah. Oh. Forget it, Miles. He's not, well, hold on. He's not the old guy.
No, it's not me.
Can you slam the phone down angrily?
I could.
No, please don't. Miles is here as well.
Listening to Patton talk about all that stuff, the look on his face was priceless. That's the best part. Because, for once he gets to sit down and not talk about all of the Hollywood stuff, it's just him relaxing and remembering why he escaped this town.
Yeah, you guys got really nerdy. Like, they started talking about, as soon as you hear 20-sided die come in, I tune out. I'm like, this is not my world.
That's where I'm like, now it's getting good.
Yeah, polydecahedron time.
Exactly.
Yeah, 3 out of the 5 of us still play D&D every week. So,
that's awesome.
Can I play? Can I Skype in somehow? I would play.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I play Magic.
I need a good
Do you still
D&D
play
game.
Magic?
Yeah.
If you play Magic, man, you got to play Hearthstone. It's Magic for babies.
Oh no.
I've tried Hearthstone and I get epically frustrated because I keep losing.
That's all it is. It's an exercise in fucking frustration. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, I don't get the obsession with it. Now people like Twitch their Hearthstone sessions. Twitch is a whole thing that I don't get either, to be honest.
I have no idea what any of these words are you're saying.
But yeah, I don't get it. But I did try Hearthstone. I'd rather play D&D.
Competitive e-gaming is huge, dude. It is huge.
I know, I just don't get it.
Yeah, well, we could talk about that.
Well, let's not.
Back to Patton.
But yeah, the Patton interview was great. I wanted to just give these guys a plug because I've talked time to time that there's no real minor league for radio anymore, at least for talk radio. And you can scour terrestrial radio, and the guys that are there are it. That's it. Once Howard is done and Opie and Anthony are done, Mancow, those kind of guys, Tom Likas, Bob and Tom, Cowhead down in Tampa, the Monsters in Orlando, those kind of shows, all of that is, aging, and they're going to go away, and there's no real next tier of who's coming up the ranks and stuff.
Sure.
So you turn to podcasting to find some of these talk programs. So what I like to do is time to time, I like to point out to people, especially being on an international platform here, that, obviously listen to the great talent here at SiriusXM, but also, when we're not on, if you want to check something out, and maybe the company can look at some of these people and see, hey, maybe there's something there that we should try them out and see if we can make a go with it. I like to take time to point out these shows. I've done it with Big O and Dukes, and this is another show that I've been finding scuttlebutt about called Nerd Church. They have a podcast. It's nerdchurchpodcast.com. Definitely think you should check those guys out.
Dude, thank you very much, man.
No problem.
Greatly appreciate it.
All right, I am done with you now.
Oh, wow. Just like that. He's
that's
so
how
nice
rolls.
and loving. He brings you in for the hug and then punches you in the balls.
Yeah.
We'll keep listening despite that.
Lovingly punches you in the balls.
Yeah, loving.
Yeah.
If you guys ever find your way up to New York City, come in and sit in with us.
Awesome, man. We will. Thank you very much for having us on.
All right, Sean and Miles, nerdchurchpodcast.com. Find it on iTunes. Subscribe to them.
I will definitely be checking that out,
I'm gonna check that out
this weekend. So
I love podcasts.
And of course, Matt has his side project too.
Yes, that's right. BKGeekstuff.com. That's a fun little podcast I've been doing for almost 10 years now. So if you want to check that out, check it out. Me and a group of guys, Big Kev, who you may or may not know, and Scapegoat, our third mic. We talk about geeky shit way more in depth than I can go here.
Yeah, if this program's too much for you, do not seek out what Matt does. if this is like, wow, these guys are way too light, they're not going into the directions they should be going, definitely subscribe to the other project Matt does, and then we'll never hear from you again.
No, there's a good amount of crossover listeners. We've gotten a lot of new listeners from my time here at It's Erik Nagel, and it's lovely to have a little bit of that.
All right, so that being said, I think we should get to the big news.
Sure.
That we have. I tweeted earlier today that we had a special announcement for this program, so I think it's about time that we do this.
Go for it.
Erik.
This is our no, it's not. What we're doing this summer is going to be the summer of con. Con, exactly, as we announce that It's Erik Nagel will be traveling this summer to different cons around the country and doing the show from these cons. So the first stop on the summer of con here that we're going to announce is Florida SuperCon in Miami Beach. Woohoo! Of course.
Yeah. It's be like more like
Big Will, True Hill. Yeah, we're going down to Florida SuperCon in Miami Beach, June 25th through the 28th. Oh, God damn it! I hope I have the.
Oh man, that's gonna be the most sun any of us have gotten.
It is. All right, so that's what it is. We'll be down there. We'll be broadcasting live from the floor of Florida SuperCon. Going to talk to all the guests and people down there. So if you're in the Florida area, come down, and if you're curious to see what this program is, be part of the show.
Nice.
Come and hang out. Then a couple weeks later, which we'll get into more detail as that's coming in, we will be at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
That's the big one.
Indeed, a Rooney.
And so that'll be fun. That's where everybody who's anybody is seen at San Diego Comic-Con, at least in this world. And call it nerdy shit if you want. But look, every movie company, every television company teases and premieres a lot of their things at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a big deal.
It's the big one
for the entertainment industry. So we will be there for that. New York Comic-Con is in October. Well, of course, we'll be there. But there's now a couple other cons that have reached out. So we're trying to work that out. So when we have that information, we'll release it. But this is turning out to be a great project that we're going to be traveling with the show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
So again, end of June, June 25th through the 28th. Florida SuperCon at the Miami Convention Center in Miami Beach there. If you can get tickets or whatever, come down, come hang out with us as we broadcast the show live that Friday.
Indeed.
So there's the announcement.
There's the announcement.
There's not gonna
Put back Will Smith.
There's not going to be enough room and shit for all the stuff Eric's going to get at these cons.
Yeah, Eric's gonna need a whole cargo plane to fly everything back.
That's what UPS is for, you novices.
So, right. So the one thing you learn...
They'll reject you for the amount of shit you're going to get.
No, they will not, because my card is on file. You pack it, shove the peanuts, tape it up, and ship it to New York.
Like, where's it going? The same guy who gets all those Loot Crate boxes.
All this dumb Doctor Who shit.
Terrible stuff. The very first time I went to San Diego, I think I shipped home 8 boxes.
Jesus.
After 4.5 days at San Diego. 8 boxes. I went to the UPS store. And not small boxes. I'm not talking about...
I didn't say stop Miami. Keep it going.
Little tissue size box. Like,
we better hear Summer California Love before...
I spent several $100s shipping stuff back home.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And for people who don't go to cons, they should know that there is a UPS, or FedEx thing in the convention center, so that
or close by. Yeah,
exactly, so that they will take your money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's when you hire somebody who wants to go to the con and can't get in. You give them a pass, and you go, "Your job is to take these bags and keep going over to the FedEx kiosk and shipping those out for me."
You're hiring a runner, essentially.
I'm hiring a Boy Friday. It will happen. For the Miami Con, it'll be Giddles, myself. Roland's coming down for this.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa Carrero, who's been on the show many times, and she does stuff with Disney, whatever.
Yep.
She's down there doing her appearances, so she'll come and join us, and it'll be a fun time.
Very, very nice.
So there we go.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
All right. Let's move on to something else here before you can keep Miami going. No, I'm kidding. Paul is just like freaking out. How many times have I supposed to
love Will Smith.
Just keep it playing.
Let's talk about some of the trailers that came out before we have to take a break and get to Sam Elliott.
Okay.
Muppets, new Muppet Show.
I'm excited.
New Muppet Show trailer came out. Giddles, did you see it?
I was in work hell this week, so I didn't see anything.
Mikey Piff?
I did not, only because I was scared to watch all these trailers because some of them are really bad.
What did you feature for the web watch on the SiriusXM Hits Countdown this week?
This weekend, I did nothing this weekend. There's nothing that caught my eye.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
there's
like
the new the thing from
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. There's the Rick and Morty couch gag.
That I saw the Rich and Morty couch gag.
You can still squeeze it in.
Morty.
Saturday hasn't hit yet.
That's true.
Go back in there and make it happen.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch any of the new DC stuff because I'm still catching up on. I haven't watched Arrow yet either.
Right.
And I'm still catching up on Flash.
So you could watch the trailer for the new show. I don't think it spoils anything for you. So,
so the new Muppet Show trailer it kind of takes fun at the format that The Office created. And you said it's like The Office meets 30 Rock, but with the Muppets.
yeah, because it kind of has that. It kind of has that show within a show. So they're putting on the Muppet Show, but it's also exploring their life outside of the show. But they also kind of poke fun at like the what's the Office thing where the testimonials or whatever it is.
Yeah, the one camera shots.
Yeah, whatever. There. So it kind of pokes fun at that a little bit. But look, I'm on board with almost anything Muppets. Just because I'm a longtime fan. I did not see Pepe in the trailer, which is a little scary and sad for me.
Pepe is the French prawn.
Yes,
yeah.
He's my favorite new Muppet, so I hope he makes it onto the show. But look, I think it looks good. I'm excited for that. There are other things I was not excited for. There were other trailers that I thought looked terrible.
Which
Minority Report, I thought looked terrible.
Minority Report.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know.
That's right. Port.
No, Minority Report. That's where their ships come into.
They just need to stop trying to remake Philip Dick stuff.
Well, this isn't a remake.
Work.
This is like some sort of weird, bizarro sequel follow-up to the movie. But I don't know. It didn't grab my attention. And then there was the trailer for Lucifer, which kind of looked like what if Castle and Constantine had an illegitimate love child, which may or may not be good. Like I was mixed on that one too.
So is it like Castlevania?
No, but good on you. I'm trying to think. What
Matt
other
just threw Giddles a bone. So I was like, good for trying.
What other trailers? We were talking about a whole bunch before the show tonight, Eric. What were some of the other ones that? Legends of Tomorrow. Scream! That new
Scream.
show.
I haven't seen that one yet. The Rick and Morty couch gag, which we've all talked about before. Rick and Morty have announced season 2.
July.
If you're not a fan of this show, you can still go to AdultSwim.com and watch a handful of the episodes for free. The DVD set's out. It's definitely worth getting. I don't think it's streaming anywhere, so it's
I
not.
think it's streaming on Adult Swim.
That's what I just said.
Oh, okay.
You can go to the website, but I don't think it's streaming as far as like on demand or Netflix or anything like that. Definitely buy the DVD. It's worth your time to watch this show.
It's the best show.
But it's coming back in July for season 2 because everybody's been waiting for it's been a year, right?
Yeah, this past December was a year since it had originally broadcast.
Right,
yeah,
so
it's been
about
like
a year and a half since waiting for season 2, and they finally just made the announcement. We got to see them last year at New York Comic Con. We're going to see them again, I think, in San Diego, so that'll be good. Definitely check that out there. Gem.
Gem and the Holograms.
Gem and the Holograms.
Oh,
if you're not familiar with this, if you're not a child of the 80s, as Opie likes to say, it was a cartoon. I only remember it being on USA. I don't know if it was on any other channels or syndication, but I remember it being on the USA Network.
It was on like 11 or 9.
And Gem was just a cartoon for girls.
Well, she was truly outrageous.
She was, Gem. And she was they were in a band called Jen and the Holograms, but they were like, their manager was like some kind of supercomputer named Synergy.
Yeah, and they were holograms.
Right. And then they had a evil band that they fought with called the Misfits.
That's right.
Which is very misleading because it's not the Misfits that you think.
No.
Yeah, there's an actual band.
Yes.
Right. So, it was a cartoon. It was what it was. It was sort of futuristic for the 80s.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 seasons, maybe.
Right.
Like
so now they're doing a live action Gem.
Right.
And it feels a little bit of like, remember Josie and the Pussycats?
No, it does not feel like Josie and the Pussycats.
Hold on. The feel of the trailer feels a little like Josie and the Pussycats. But then it goes in this weird direction of being like they're trying to be emo, trying to be goth punk, like all these weird things. It's coming off like Space Oddity with David Bowie.
Yeah, it's kind of like what if Hannah Montana went punk.
Okay.
Right? But,
all right, I see what you're saying.
And here's the problem with the Gem and the Holograms movie. There's no fucking holograms. Is probably
the band is just called the Holograms.
Yeah, and it's just makeup. They just put on fancy makeup. And you know, the cartoon had a little bit of drama. Like Gem was like fighting thugs and shit on the cartoon. Like there's none of that in this. This just seems like I don't know. It seems like a teeny bopper movie.
Well, yeah, it definitely seems like they're trying to reboot it. Because, I mean, how many fans did it really have in the 80s? Like a ton?
Actually, there's this weird group of like loyal fans that are like nostalgic about 80s shows that really liked it. And I kind of get that. I don't know that I would call myself a big fan, but I think I probably watched a little bit of it. But this definitely is not geared towards that crowd. This is geared towards the Hannah Montana crowd. It absolutely is.
So they're trying to like it's not like a nostalgia thing. Maybe for like the parents like, oh, I'll bring my kids to this. And
the only thing nostalgic about it is the name.
Gotcha.
That's it. Nothing about the story is really similar. It's ugh.
Yeah, it's lame.
We spent too much time talking about Gem already.
Well, we don't have enough time for this discussion that I wanted to get into, but maybe we can explore this next week. When does the movie open?
This summer.
All right, so
soon, I don't know.
We still have time.
Yeah, we have plenty of time.
So, because I'm going to open up the debate here of favorite fictitious cartoon female rock band.
Okay.
So it's going to be Gem versus Josie and the Pussycats.
Well, Josie and the Pussycats.
I'm going with Josie and the Pussycats, but we're not having this discussion right now. We're going to go in depth on it.
All right.
I don't know why. It's just something I thought would be dumb and stupid and we could do.
No,
is there going to be a battle of the bands at the end?
Oh, yes.
And this is the part where everybody's going to look at me like I've grown a third eye because I am going to vehemently defend the movie Josie and the Pussycats for the great film that it was.
Oh, man.
Oh, the film. I was going to go back to the cartoon.
Oh, I like the cartoon too.
And then there was the version of the cartoon where somehow they were traveling through space.
Sure.
And they had a big spaceship that looked like a big white dick.
And even older than that, it was in Archie comics. It was in the comic books too. So
they had the worst crossover.
Yeah, man.
You want to throw the Archies into this battle of the bands here? Make it a...
Archie's wasn't a girl band, though.
It had girls in it.
It did have girls in it. Well, if you're making that,
and you never knew which way Archie swung.
Jabberjaw's band had girls in it too, I think.
Oh, fuck. Now we got a...
I think we
got
need
a band in each corner.
An 18 cartoon band off is what we need to have.
Like with
let's
brackets.
do that.
Yeah, with like brackets, and whoever gets the most votes moves on, and then there's a concert at the end.
We can do that.
There you go. All right, I'm down.
Let's do this.
What other cartoon bands were? Did the Shirt Tails have a band?
Yes, I don't know.
All right, we got to do some research on that. Was
there a band on the Fat Albert show, right?
There was.
Fat Albert had a band.
And the Junkyard Kids.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Can we throw Muppets in there because River Bottom Nightmare Band?
They weren't cartoons, though.
They weren't cartoons.
They're animated.
The problem is they were too good of a band. That's like stacking this.
Because if you're going to throw Muppets in, then we got to throw in Country Bear Jamboree.
Right, you got to throw in the Electric Mayhem.
Now things are getting out of hand.
This is crazy talk now.
Had a band.
Who?
Oh yeah, the Beats, but that's like the 90s.
No, Doug, Skeeter, and BB.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Banging on a trash can.
I like where this is going. We're going to put this together and do our own bracket.
All right.
Battle of the Cartoon Bands.
Nice.
And then we have to have examples, too. We have to play their songs back to back and vote.
All right.
Have the listeners get in, and we'll just spend the day on this. Why? Who knows? Just for our own amusement, and hopefully the rest of the country doesn't tune out. All right. We do have to take another break here. I think we talked about that. We still never did Nintendo.
No,
Universal
we did not
Studios.
do Nintendo and Universal.
Okay. I think we're going to take a break, do a live read, and then when we come back, we're going to talk with Sam Elliott. So let's do that. We'll be right back with It's Erik Nagel.
It's Erik Nagel. Erik and Matt will be right back. It's Erik Nagel. It's Erik Nagel. And it's back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the program right now an actor that I know you've seen in a bunch of different things, and I do have to say, very intimidating to actually be here face-to-face with you after seeing you in so many things over these years. Mr. Sam Elliott, how are you?
I'm well, Erik, thanks. Don't be intimidated.
See, even the voice, it's terrifying.
Oh, my God.
I think I know you best from Tombstone, so it's always like, this guy is one of those old school badass kind of guys that won't put up with half the shit that young guys like me do in today's generation.
Well, I guess that, yeah, there may be some truth to that.
You're here for your new movie, I'll See You in My Dreams. I would like to say it's a different take from what you normally do, but you do a lot of different things. It's not like sometimes people, I think, if they don't know your extensive body of work, they pigeonhole you into this, rough, badass kind of guy. But you've done a bunch of different projects over there. So seeing you in this, even though if you can get the gruffness of some of your characters out of the way,
right,
it's very believable, and you've fallen very well with this movie.
Well, thank you. It was a great opportunity to do something a little bit different. This character's a little softer around the edges, I think, than a lot of characters I've played, and it's a great piece of material that the director and his writing partner wrote, and an opportunity to work with a woman that I'd admired from afar for the last 50 years, basically,
right.
In Blythe Danner, and he was a good guy. This guy's a good guy, and it was a joy to play him.
Is it hard to go more even tone and sensitive in these roles? Is that difficult for you to do?
I think if it's on the page, and it was certainly on the page here, then it's it's not any more difficult than playing.
But you have that in you?
Yeah, I like to think I do. Maybe not to the degree that Bill did. It's like probably the idealized version, needless to say, from what I am truly, it's one of those, I'm not going to say that, I'm the guy playing the part, but the guy's a little more together, I think, on a lot of levels than I am personally.
Did they have this part with you in mind, or was this just something you auditioned for?
I was the first one that came to. But I don't think Brett was thinking about me. I don't think he was thinking about anyone other than Blythe, maybe, when he was writing the script.
So you get a script for something like this. Do you have second thoughts about, like, you're looking at it like, the story's kind of good, but is this really something, not that you can do, but is this something you want to portray yourself?
Yeah, I didn't have any second thoughts about it at all, because it was such a good piece, and I just thought all the themes in it just rang true to me. And the cast was pretty much put together when I came to it. And it was all people that I respected, none of them which I'd ever crossed paths with.
Right.
But it was a real honest portrayal, I think, of people in older ages and the decisions and fears that they're confronted with. And at the same time, it was a hoot. It's a very funny piece.
How important is it to you with a lot of the stuff that you've done to switch it up? Like, are you more comfortable with I guess what the casual fan or moviegoer would observe you in as being a gruff, stern figure? For you, for your craft and just your own well-being, how important is it to switch up those roles to do something else?
I think anytime you have an opportunity to kind of step outside the box, then it's a great opportunity, and they haven't come my way a lot. I've got pigeonholed as that guy you keep talking about,
right,
over the years, and it served me well. I used to groan about being typed as this Western character. I did a lot of Westerns over the years, but I finally got over that and realized that if it wasn't for my Western influence, I probably wouldn't have had much of a career.
Right.
So I've been very fortunate.
I was talking with my dad not too long ago and said I was going to be speaking with you.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the Western stuff. And, he was born in the 40s and grew up with right, the Westerns and what have you. But he started rattling off TV shows. And he goes, he used to be a character actor. And I said, what? And he was listing all these shows. You were in Gunsmoke, Mannix, Hawaii Five-0, Streets of San Francisco. Like a lot of the actors in the time, they would pop up and do the circuit, I guess, and show up in all these shows.
When you're in there early on, you just do anything you can do.
Right.
It's like it's not by design. It's not like part of the plan. But there was a period of a few years where I did a lot of episodic television.
Right.
And then I got involved in doing a lot of long-form television. I was very fortunate to get a lot of long-form TV and miniseries. They used to do a lot of those in the 70s.
You did Mission Impossible. It was more than just a stint. Yeah, you did a long time with Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. The last year it was on the air, yeah.
Do you ever wonder if they would bring you in for a cameo or something with all the movies?
I don't think there's a chance that's going to happen.
Where are you with TV now? I mean, because you're obviously most well-known for film.
I think that television today is really having its heyday, you know, and I'm happy to do it if it comes
Are you
along.
a fan with the direction that a lot of these shows go now with FX, HBO, Netflix even, where they can do more long-form things? And most of these things are now, they're cinematic events. They're pretty much just movies.
It's incredible stuff. I did a show on FX this last season. I did the last season of Justified.
Right.
It was one of the best experiences I've had in a long, long time. Been working on Parks and Rec. I did 3 episodes.
Well, I was going to get to that a little bit, yeah.
You know, TV is a real rich place to be working right now.
When you started, you were still, and you were doing all these older TV shows, but the mindset still was with television that television's okay, but you know, if you're not in movies, television was looked down upon as a lower form of art, I would say. It's like, oh, you're in television. Well, he's a movie star. Yeah. Do you think it's reversed nowadays?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's the reverse, but I think that line has like been totally wiped away.
Right.
You know, because it's just the stuff they're doing on television is such great quality.
Because you're seeing
often better than the stuff they're doing in a lot of films.
You're seeing a lot of big name actors go back to television, and now you're seeing directors and producers from movies doing television. M. Night Shyamalan has a series for Fox. Ron Howard has been doing it. Brian Grazer. David Lynch is bringing back Twin Peaks. So it's like the days of, it's not just movies anymore. Now you have to go back to and do TV as well.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons is there's a lot of money to be made in television.
Right.
For the people that are producing anyway.
And at least it's well done and well written and well shot. So it's not like you're going back and doing some kind of hacky sitcom. You're doing a serious mini-series or event where it's like people will remember you for that just as much as they would remember you for being in Tombstone. Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm happy to be doing it. Television. I just want to do good work. I want to do something and make a mark on something. And, you know, it's not about the money. I just like to work. Feel very fortunate that I am still working after 47 years, you know.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
The movie is I'll See You in My Dreams. Of course, I'm talking with Sam Elliott. The movie is out today. Go and see it. It's definitely worth checking out there. If not for Sam, maybe for Blythe.
Definitely for Blythe.
One other question with a project that you brought up about television. When I first saw you in this role, it threw me. But when you were recurring in this role, I was like, oh my God, he nailed it. It was you being on Parks and Rec. You were the, I would say, the anti-Ron.
Right.
You were Ron, but the anti-Ron, the Eagleton equivalent.
Yeah. That was really a sweet thing to come along. And I think it came to me primarily because of Nick Offerman. They had this episode where everybody had this matched up character, this doppelganger they called it, or doppelganger. I'm not even sure how you pronounce it.
When they were merging the towns in the show,
merging the towns, and I think that Nick had some influence about who he was going to have, you know, come against him. And
Nick's a big fan of yours?
Well, I think he was a big fan of my mustache. He wanted a mustache that rivaled his mustache,
and it is a stellar mustache.
Well, it's not now. It's starting to come back. I shaved it off for a job I did with Lily Tomlin. I shaved it off for Justified as well. So.
Do people think that's weird when they see you without the mustache?
People, surprisingly enough, people think it's weirder than I do. You know, it's like, oh my God, you shaved off your mustache.
Well, it's very iconic for you.
Like, I guess, but it's hair, man. It grows back.
The Ron character that you played on Parks and Rec was pretty much the polar opposite of him. You were more of a hippie and free spirit of the earth kind of
the total opposite of him,
and which drove him his character nuts.
Drive him nuts. He ended up hating me. In fact, the last episode I did, the last thing he said to me is, "I really hate you." We're standing at the bar, and it was at that time I didn't have a mustache. That was an odd thing, because I'd done the first couple of shots there where I had this mustache, and then I came back and was without it.
Right.
Because I was doing Justified. I came from the Justified set.
They didn't even bother to put a prop mustache on?
No, they didn't want to, because it was that episode, I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was Ron's barber had died.
Right.
And it was a big deal that influenced his feelings through the entire episode. And I show up next to him at the bar, and I'm kind of listening in on his conversation with two of the other characters, and tell him that I'm sorry that he for his loss and all this, and the other character that Chris Pratt plays looks over to me and he says, "Who cut your hair?" And I say, he says, I don't, nobody, it just, after it's gone its distance, it just naturally sheds off. After it's completed its mission. Same thing happened to my mustache recently, and they cut the reference to the mustache out for whatever reason.
I got to ask you though, I mean, is any of those characteristics in you, or was that going against everything you are? That portrayed like a brilliant piece of acting.
No, it was just an opportunity to do something I'd never done, and I really loved it. I really loved having a little run at comedy, and it led to other stuff. I think it had to do with, I don't know, maybe not so much this, but the Lily Tomlin thing that I did, called this thing called Grandma, and work gets work sometimes, and it's, I think when people see you in kind of an unexpected place like you've been talking about, I think it's a good thing.
I gotta imagine, for being an actor, that it's got to be a lot of fun when you get to portray something that's completely not you, almost the exact opposite of you, in order that you're not completely bored in your own mind as far as doing then it doesn't become a job. It's still your career and your passion. It's not going to work anymore. But to do a character like the other Ron and your character Bill in I'll See You in My Dreams, to have that kind of change up once in a while keeps you young, keeps you happy.
It keeps you sharp for sure. But I'd like to think that I've never felt like I was just going to work. I don't think I've ever felt like that.
Right.
And I think part of it's because I've just been selective about what I've got myself involved in. I have good fortune to be able to do that.
Also wanted to ask you, too, with the way movie culture and TV culture has been going, a lot of stuff involving the superhero universe with Marvel and DC and independent ones surfacing. You're no stranger to that as well, because you were in the first Hulk movie, the Erik Bana movie. You were the General, and then you were also in Ghost Rider as the caretaker. Now, those came before what is now, I guess, the golden period of all these superhero projects and whatever.
Yep.
Would you still entertain, or would you still go back into that world if Marvel called you up and said, hey, we want to we're going to look to do the next Hulk movie. We want to bring your character back?
I don't think there's any reason not to do it, But again, it kind of depends on what it is, I mean, I don't want to be window dressing.
Right.
Some guy came up to me on the street the other day and said, "Hey, man, I heard that General Ross is going to be in the next Avengers movie." And I thought, what the fuck would he be doing there? And he says, well, he's like this guy. He's part of it. And this guy was obviously like a geek about Marvel magazines.
Right.
And he gave me this big explanation that, I don't know what the fuck he was talking about, but, I just like doing good stuff, man.
Right.
There's a place, I think, for all of it. It's a little mind-boggling to me, this whole thing about sequels and these big giant blockbusters, but they've proven themselves.
Right. It's not just
they're making these guys a lot of money.
It's not just a niche anymore. It's now a mainstream thing.
It's mind-boggling. I mean, years ago they were talking about Disney not faring very well, and they're like on the top of the pile again.
They own Marvel. They own Star Wars.
It's unbelievable.
They got everything. Well, I would like to, even though you're here for I'll See You in My Dreams, I would like to petition that they bring back General Ross for when they redo the Hulk again.
I'd come and do it. I enjoyed the work.
You heard this, Marvel. He wants to be back in on this. Let's make this happen.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I don't know. They've rebooted it once. I'm not sure they're going to reboot it again.
Well, they did too. They did the Erik Bana one. They did the Edward Norton one. Yeah. And then they took the story from the Edward Norton one into Avengers with a different person playing. Right. But then they're going to, I think, at some point do a third or a new independent version of it.
Right.
But that actor can change, but General Ross can't. Sam Elliott needs to be part of the new Hulk movie when it comes out there.
Yeah.
But also go see I'll See You in My Dreams. It's out right now. It's definitely a very good movie. Rhea Perlman's very good in the movie.
Rhea Perlman, Mary Kay Place,
It's a great cast.
Danner, I mean, it's a great bunch. And June Squibb. Don't forget Oscar winner June Squibb. I mean,
Did she make you announce it as Oscar winner?
No, it just occurred to me.
Just something you threw in.
Yep.
What project of yours do you think you're most recognized from?
I really don't know. You know, it's a tough one, and I think if I'm recognized for anything, it's because they just ran them incessantly on cable television over the years, and it's either Roadhouse or
Think Tombstone,
Lebowski, maybe Tombstone. I don't know. You know, probably the truth of it is if they didn't have all those reruns running, my career would have petered out a long time ago. It had been like a figment of somebody's imagination, you know.
Does that bother you when people still come up and talk to you about some of their favorite roles of yours from the movies?
No. I was over at Bloomberg this morning, man, and this beautiful lady over there that interviewed me, the first thing out of her mouth was about Roadhouse. Wow, really? You know, I just thought, no, it's great. You know, I mean, that's why I'm in the game. And if people remember your work, if you make some kind of a mark and entertain people,
right?
I mean, that's what the business is all about.
Well, I would say, you know, the cool answer would be, I guess, from Roadhouse. The more manlier answer would be from Tombstone. But unfortunately for me, I remember you from Mask.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. I was like, oh my God, it's Cher's boyfriend.
I remember that show. Remember it well.
Sam Elliott, the movie is I'll See You in My Dreams. Are you on any of the social networking at all?
No,
Twitter, Instagram?
I don't do any of that stuff.
It's too tiring.
I don't even email.
No, really?
No, I don't do it.
Do you at least have a cell phone?
I got a cell phone.
Okay, so that's pretty much all you need.
Actually, I graduated to an iPhone this year. Finally got rid of my flip phone, but it's just, hey, man, I can't deal with real mail, let alone email. It's just, you know, and I can't stand the exposure. I'm suspect.
You don't need to join the rest of us. You're doing just fine.
You know, I get online. I go online if I want to find out something. You know, I can barely do that, but I do go do that because I think if you can't have access to the information highway, then you're really missing out. But I'd rather relate to people rather than walk around with my head and looking at my palm of my hand, you know. I just think, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's a real disservice on some levels, I think, as well as a wonderful thing that technology is bringing us to, but pretty scary. Pretty scary.
Oh, I will say this interview has been pretty scary, and not because you're the sweetest guy, but it's just so intimidating after, like I said, from seeing all your work all my life, and I'm like, this guy is more of a man than I will ever be. So,
Thanks,
Sam Elliott, the movie I'll See You in My Dreams. Go see it right now. Sir, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place. Welcome to the Hotel California.
The great Sam Elliott.
The dude abides.
Very intimidating fella. Couldn't have been nicer, but, you know, this guy's not putting up with any of our shit.
No,
not so much. His voice is scary. His voice makes me quake.
I feel like his voice is judging me from far away.
Right.
He's never, yeah.
It's like, do you know what we did to build this country? And
I'm like,
fucking it up.
I'm like, sorry.
Your shitty radio show.
I just want to read a text that I got from Dr. Steve, who's listening. He tweeted out that he's listening to some fucking It's Erik Nagel on Sirius, which is great. But then he texts me saying, "You fucking fuck," with exclamation points. Nice mouth for a doctor. Sam Elliott, he fucking made the final season of Justified. Now, I haven't seen Justified, but everyone has told me
it's
how great show, Justified is and how great his role was on Justified.
I hear it's great. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Steve, for listening in. You can check out new episodes of Dr. Steve and Weird Medicine Saturday nights at 10 p.m.
Ooh,
indeed.
And follow him somewhere on Twitter. I guess just type in Weird Medicine.
Yes, you'll find it
in front of me.
I believe it is just Weird Medicine.
We are running out of time, gentlemen, so let's get the plugs and everything out of the way. Giddles?
I got a taco takedown on May 31st at the Royal Palm Shuffleboard Club in Brooklyn. If you guys want to come out and eat all the tacos you can, it's like $20. It'll be fun.
Is Brian's mic a lot louder than everybody else's? Or is it just the way the studio is?
I don't know. I don't have like the windscreen thing on here, and it always just sounds really
everyone just sounds
it.
bassy today. I don't know.
It's all about the bass.
I'm all about the treble.
It's because that's Sam Elliott.
It happens.
Matt, what do you have?
You can find me on, of course, Twitter and Instagram, GeekStuffOG, BKGeekStuff.com for that super geeky podcast that I'm part of. And if you're going to be in New Jersey, go check out the Steampunk World's Fair this weekend. I'm going to be there on Saturday. Come by and say hello.
Now, what does steampunk entail?
Steampunk is this weird sort of niche version of science fiction. It's sort of neo-Victorian. It kind of presumes, what if technology stopped after, like, the steam engine was invented, but sort of moved forward in time-wise. So it's like dirigibles and like air machines and steam engines.
Yeah, there's like no electricity. It's all steam-powered.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Garanimals. I'm sorry. All right, so go to the Steampunk Convention.
Yeah,
that should be kind of cool.
I'll be walking around. So.
And you plug the podcast and all that stuff?
BKGeekStuff.com.
And GeekStuffOG on Twitter and Instagram.
That's right.
Please follow him on the Instagram. He's been doing toy reviews that I've been reposting and stuff, so check that out. I am E-Rock Radio on Twitter and Instagram. Next week on the program, because we did not mention this, the guest for next week, we're going to be talking to, so a little change of pace, Hall of Famer quarterback Jim Kelly and his family. We're going to talk to them. Nice. They have a new book out. We're also going to talk to some YouTube sensations. One of them being friends of Mikey Piff here, Jenna Marbles.
I'm trying. I'm waiting to hear back. I think
it's happening. Okay. We're saying it's happening. Jenna Marbles is a YouTube sensation. If you don't know who she is, check her out on Jenna Marbles on YouTube there. Pretty girl, does some really wacky things. She's insane.
I've never even heard
but
of
it's
this
a lot
person.
of fun. And she also hosts a show called
The YouTube 15, which is, if you turn over to channel 2, she's on right now.
Shit.
And I'm looking over at our boy Lewis here, who's cheering up and down for Jenna Marbles.
Nuts.
No surprise that Lewis likes a pretty white girl.
Delicious.
He's
losing his marbles.
Jenna Marbles will be on the program. Also, I'm a big fan of these guys. The guys from Epic Rap Battles of History will be on the program next Friday.
Erik loves Epic Rap Battles
I
of History.
love them.
He will drag me into the room and be like, watch this epic rap battle. All right.
I mean, there's been a lot of celebrities who's participated in Key and Peele. Have done it. Weird Al has done it. Jenna Marbles did a feature on there as well. A lot of these big YouTube channels, if you're familiar with those kind of things, you'll see these guys crossing over in and out.
Sarah Michelle Gellar was in one.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's right. I think I saw that one.
And so you can check all of that out on their website, but also on the program next week. I'm very excited for that. Finally, let's rehash that the show, It's Erik Nagel, will be broadcasting live from Florida SuperCon in Miami, June 25th through the 28th. Miami Convention Center in Miami Beach, of course. If you're in the area, come down, come hang with us while we do the show live. It'll be a lot of fun. Giddles, myself, and Roland will be down there, and a good time will be had by all. Then a couple weeks later, we'll be in San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con, and some other excuse me, this cough is just not going away. Some other places have reached out, so we're going to work some of those out. It will be the Summer of Con.
Nice.
Thank you, Giddles, because we didn't have the sound effect ready.
I didn't.
With that